Man, what's happening, everybody? Been a long time, huh? Yeah, just gonna jump on here for a few minutes, man, and see what the hell going on around the state for a minute. You know what I mean? Just want to talk about a few things. Nothing in particular, man. Just want to see what the hell going on down here at MSP, man. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna wait on a few people to jump on and get ready to see what's happening. Play me a little music, you know? Yeah. But anyway, long story short, man, we just been a lot of things going on. Uh, Number one, I'm gonna jump back down, but we just want to pray for the family of Mr. Lang today. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate that we lose another life, man, with somebody with what's up, brother? How you doing? With less than a year, somebody that has less than a year to go home, and he ended up dying they want to say at the hands of uh, at his own hands, suicide, but we don't know. That has yet to be determined. I'm not a medical examiner. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened, but it's sad to where the weight of incarceration, the weight of incarceration causes a person to take his life when he has less than a year to go home. Now that's either number one, first of all, lack of supervision, because there's no way that he should have been out working without being supervised. But of course, we know that Batman considers his special detail supervisor when they can check out other offenders who are incarcerated like them and take them to certain work detail to accomplish things without staff coming in to supervise them. But you won't pay the necessary personnel in maintenance or in the farm shop for them to be. Well, it's only certain areas they can do that anyway. Farm shop is one of them where you let them work on the weekend unsupervised. Less than a year. He had a year left to go. He was supposed to leave, go home next year, the early part of next year. And they're saying that he hung himself. Say he'd been acting different the last couple of days, but he had one of those charges where, in the Fed or in any facility that's frowned upon. But that's his life is still valuable, just like anybody else's life. You know what I mean? So he had been sentenced and he was serving his time. So I think that that's just a lack of mental treatment or mental health care, within the system, and a lack of supervision within the system. So I think that for him to be, first of all, signed out of the building by another offender, you know what I mean, who has been assigned to one of the special detail at Unit 33, the now infamous Unit 33, where they count themselves and police themselves. So we have unlimited range and supervision of themselves. Staff can't really tell them anything. They pretty much come and go as they please within, in and around Parchman, you know what I mean, across the street or wherever they want to go. So they have more powers than some of the supervisors. Than some of the supervisors. Matter of fact, they tell the supervisor what to do if they don't, and they tell the supervisor what to do and they don't, and they go back and tell the superintendent. Then the superintendent, checks the supervisor and tell them that he should have done this. And so that's just the kind of mental thinking that we have here in the South, especially with the election. Like I was telling people, I hadn't really spoke out about the election, but, for all those people that, who look like me, that didn't vote for the person that looked like me, you know what I mean? I think that we have a serious problem. They've been voting in these elections for, uh, a few hundred years, and they've been voting based on color. So just since 65, we were able to, since the passage of the Civil Rights Act, we were actively able to vote here in the South for somebody. So when we get the opportunity to vote for one of our, then people talking about what she didn't do, what she didn't. She only had like 2 or 3 months to plan because it was only like 3 months ago that Biden said that he wasn't running. But that's a horse of another color. I'm gonna address that today. Today, I kind of want to stay on focus to why are these offenders? I like to see what the death toll is in MDOC from January to now, and how many of those deaths are suicide. or that they're attributing to suicide. Now, I didn't know Lang to be a person that used drugs. When he first came in or anything, he was pretty handy, pretty good worker, and always seemed upbeat. So why you get less to a year to the house and you want to kill yourself? You know what I mean? You want to hang yourself or however. And why were you even working on the weekend alone, unsupervised? You can't go to visit unsupervised. You know what I mean? You can't do anything pretty much being incarcerated unsupervised. So why was there no farm shop supervisor that was there? You know what I mean? You got Bo. He should have been there, or one of the guys, Dunnigan, one of them should have been there supervising them. Or who authorized them? What were they working on that was so important on a Saturday? Because they got their own outside construction crew working at Unit 17 doing the work. So what were they working on Saturday in the rain that could be so important that he had to be outside of the unit, at the farm shop unsupervised by himself to give him the opportunity to hang himself or commit suicide in whatever manner that he commits suicide, which I'm pretty sure, that everybody's heard is by hanging. So I just wonder what kind of thinking. And then we got this guy down here, Brock Owen, that won't even speak to staff member. He's so much, and the word is coming out, man. It's alleged that you're a former convicted felon, like some of the people that you supervise. You know what I mean? But because you're there, because you're a different color than them, you won't even entertain. You'll talk to an offender before you talk to one of your staff members who has a problem. You know what I mean? We had a good friends of mine with the Prison of Hope Ministry that came in yesterday, and you didn't even go speak to them when they came in. And Miss Harrison, you locked down the whole unit when they were supposed to have seen they had it was scheduled to see 150 people. They brought books in. Owens, you didn't even want them to bring the books. St. Julian had to come and let the people go back to their vehicle to get the books that they normally get to pass out at the event that they were coming to put on. So I just wonder what's the culture. I hadn't really spoke out about it, man. I had kind of tried to be. I got my own issues going on in my personal life and I'm in school full time. You know, we have to take into account, man. We have to hold these people responsible for the things that they're doing. And you, as supervisor, black or white, you got to stand up for yourself too. So I can't be on here speaking out for you if you don't want to help yourself. I'll help you and point you in anything that you do, man. You find it wrong, man. Report it to DOJ. Write it up. Send it to DOJ. I just encourage you to do that. All right. So as much as I would love to get in the ring and box for you. You got to box for yourself. Now I can bring the truth to light. If you give me the truth, yeah, I can put it in the form of tea and bring it to light and get it to the right hands because everything that I do, I try to send a copy to Chad White and DOJ, but it seems like there are so many kickbacks within the system that nobody's doing anything about it. So I can't be out here like Lone Wolf screaming from the valley and hollering on your behalf. You got to scream and holler with me, until our voice can be heard in unison. If they're consistently doing things, talking to you any kind of way, aside from sorry for your loss too, Petite. Sorry for your loss. We're praying for your family, for your sister. So if you're not speaking out for yourself, I think that it's imperative, man, that it's either that you like what's going on or you don't have the courage to speak out. Man, nothing is going to happen to you for standing up for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, but we're going to continue to have instances where um, guys are going to continue to commit suicide, commit violence upon violence, inmate violence. Everything is going to rise. So we have a situation where a special detail guy signs a guy at the unit, and 3 or 4 hours later he's committed suicide, and there's no staff there to watch the guy. Then I think we have a problem. There's no way that Lang should have been signed out of the unit or picked up. He probably didn't even want to work. Special detail dude probably told him he had to come on and go to work. You know what I mean? So you give him an inmate power over another inmate. That's the first thing. How was he even allowed to sign him out? To sign him, I thought the only somebody that can get an offender out the unit was another staff member, and it had to be for, you know, for a specific reason. You know what I'm saying? Like if he was going to laundry, or if he was going to lawn, ground and upkeep, or whatever he was going to, if he was going to his job, I thought the only person that was allowed to get a person out the unit was another staff member. So who gave this guy permission? What officer let him out? That's the first thing. What were they doing on a Saturday when it's raining at the farm shop? Farm shop is just what it says and just what it's about. It's about, you know, agriculture and farm. So what were they doing at the farm shop? Were they cleaning vegetables that they had harvest prior to the week? Was it storming? I know it's storming up in the Delta. You know what I mean? At least it is in Mount Bayou and Cleveland, you know, and Sunflower County. So I'm just wondering, how can an inmate sign another guy out and 2 hours later he's dead at the farm shop at MSP? And uh, uh, an offender just hung himself at the farm shop on a Saturday, probably about 3 o'clock, about 2:40 something today. You know, so I think that you know, whose heads are gonna roll? Whose heads are gonna roll now? You know what I mean? Who's going to speak up and who's going to say something? Who's going to take the fall? Because all of these people are studying, having attempted escape, committing suicide on their watch. You know, you fired a whole slew of people when they said, when they weren't even there. You even tried to blame Sally when somebody counted when he was their supervisor and the guy was in the bed dead in a building back here last year. You know what I mean? When he never went over to make the count, and the guy said that he didn't check the guy in the cell. So so now, what's up, Darrell? Who's going to take the fall now, and who's going to report it? I guarantee you, man, nobody's reporting this to ACA or the Department of Justice. You know what I mean? So when an offender who has less than a year to go home commits suicide, we have a problem. Did he do it? Or was it, you know, was he forced to do it because of drugs, which I doubt. You know what I mean? I never knew the man. To him coming in, he didn't seem like the type that would be uh, using drugs. You know what I mean? And I don't remember, if I can recall, him ever being around people that even use drugs. You know what I'm saying? So why all of a sudden now you done got your time? You only got 5 years, 60 months in the beginning that you only had to do uh, a percentage of that, but you flat time in less than a year. You flat time in less than a year. You were signed out this morning by another offender on special detail to go down and do some work, and now all of a sudden your life is gone on a gloomy Saturday afternoon. Your family has to be notified that you're deceased. It's the same thing with CMCF with all these people. You got all these sick people. I had a good friend, man, that we had got an organization to do a compassionate medical release for him. They told him that, told his family, told the organization that we had got to help him, DW, Darren Wharton, told him that his paperwork was signed off and they was waiting on the commission to sign it. Well, sadly, the man died last Saturday, and come to find out, nobody told his family didn't find out until Monday. He died at the hospital Saturday. His family didn't find out till Monday, and no paperwork had ever left CMCL. The superintendent had never forwarded the information to back to medical for it to get to downtown for Mr. Kane or whoever was supposed to sign off on it to give him compassionate relief. The man had already had been given a terminal diagnosis to where he was going to die within 6 months. The man he worked in the print shop for 19 years, pretty much ran the print shop. He was outside in the hospital, you know what I mean, and nobody ever processed his paperwork. He ended up getting sepsis at UMMC, and he died last Saturday at UMMC. His family found out Monday, didn't find out till Monday that he had passed away when other inmates called to check on to see how she was doing. So what do you mean, how am I doing? You know what I mean? They called to check on her. and she found out that her son died in the hospital at UMMC, from sepsis after had told her that he was supposed to be coming on. The paperwork had never been put in. You know what I mean? So who dropped the ball on that? Same way we got another guy that's got a terminal illness for a heart disease within there. He's been waiting, and all of a sudden they tell him that his paperwork hadn't been put in. He's been waiting 2 months on a compassion release. His paperwork hadn't been in. Then they said that one of the officials downtown, other than the commissioner, uh, felt like he wasn't a candidate for compassionate release. Yet and still, we don't provide. You say you're short staffed and you don't provide adequate medical. Volacor doesn't provide enough medical attention for the offenders that we have in and around the state. You know what I mean? So our elderly and sick are going to keep on dying because they're not getting proper care. Just like the young lady that died at 720 at MCIW now in the back from sepsis because the institution, Miss Harrison said she wanted her back at the institution and not outside at the hospital to get treatment. So she got her around the chemo, bring her back to the institution when the hospital said she's fine, she needs to be here. She had sepsis. But Harrison, recall, wanted her back at the institution, put her in the back of MCIW, and she died a week later by herself. 24 years old, I think. Her mom, so her mom is still grieving from that. So she had, for her to die within 2 days of her getting back from the hospital, she had to have sepsis or some type of infection before she left the hospital. So I just want to know what's going on, man, with Valacor, what's going on with our supervision of the offenders who are around, and who's reporting this, who's holding the people uh, their feet to the fire when it comes to people dying, our loved ones to continue dying, because sooner or later it's going to affect you. You know what I mean? Somebody that you know. And I think it's tragic that they don't go in and talk to other offenders when an inmate commits suicide within the system, or another inmate has to hear, you know what I mean, by them coming and cleaning out an offender's bed, and guys to check on their friend, call their mom to check on their friend's mom to see how she's doing because her son has passed away. They've packed up all this stuff to send him home. What's up, bro? And she hasn't even been notified that her son died. That's a hell of a way for her to find out where another offender's called to check on her to see how she's doing because her son had died when the institution hasn't even made the call to let her know that her son has died. You know what I'm saying? So what's going on? What's going on? You got people who are perpetrating to be state director of chaplaincy. You know what I mean? But you don't want to do the job. Matter of fact, let me change that. You don't know how to do the job. When you got somebody that's capable and qualified, but you don't want them around. You want to say that you're the director of chaplaincy for the sake of a title, but you're not doing the work that should be done. For that position and for that role, man. So it's a lot of it. I'm gonna tell my friend once again, man, either assume your position, man, as director of the chaplain, or come out of there and let's do our own thing. Mr. King, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's time for you to come on up out of there, man, because Babylon is falling. And I tell you, it's incidents like this when guys keep committing suicide to where sooner or later the public is going to get tired, a family member is going to get tired, because who's to say that he killed himself with the type of charge that he had? I want to know. Ain't no way in the world that he had a year to go home. What's up, Cap? He had a year to go home that he got up this morning at the farm shop, unless he was forced to go out by another inmate that works special detail. You know what I'm saying? To come and finish this, like, okay, I'm going to show you, as a testament to it, like you can't, this is something that you're not going to make me do or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I just wonder who is holding, who responsible, and who's running MDOC. You know what I mean? Who's running MDOC? Is it Catwoman? You know what I mean? Or is it Batman? Is it the love interest, or is it just the dynamic duo? Is the new dynamic? Well, he's a dynamic single. Not, Robin is no more. So I just want to know who's running MDOC. There's a lot of more issues that are going on. I just wanted to speak. I won't turn this take away from Mr. Lang's the sadness of us losing another offender there. How many more we're gonna lose before the year is out, and who's gonna be responsible for this one and the one before, the ones at East Mississippi, the ones at in Meridian, the ones at Walnut Grove. You know what I mean? So we just keep shifting the blame and shifting the blame and shifting the blame. There's a lot going on at CMCF, man, that we're gonna address real soon. There's a lot going on. You know what I mean? So I just want to know who's to blame and who's going to be held responsible. Are we going to keep on? Are we going to keep on? See, one thing about it, as long as we're dying, African Americans, it's not going to be a problem. But you just let uh, 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 these good old boys, these good old boys, just keep on passing away. Then something's going to happen sooner or later. Everything is. You say it's not about race. Let one more down there watch, and we'll see how long. How long how long it'll take to fill that hole up after you leave, Batman. You know what I mean? Since you want to check and see uh, who am I Facebook, you can send me a request. You can be my Facebook friend too, and I can send you a copy of the list. You know what I mean? I keep telling you, man, you don't have to ask nobody anything about anything I say. You got my number. I'll call you a couple times this week. I'll text you a couple times this week. You know what I mean? So you haven't responded. So this is what you get when you don't respond. So I have to reach you this way because I know your step and fetch is gonna take it and show it to you. So, but that's cool with me because that's what I want them to do. You know what I mean? Master, look what he just said. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, I said it. You know what I mean? You know it's true. So I hope you're there. Uh, I hope that you're the one who calls Lang family today. Today, not Monday, not Tuesday, and not Wednesday, but today. And let her know that her son committed suicide when he wasn't supposed to be working. He's working for free today on a Saturday at MSP. So, whatever's on your mind, your boy won again, since you had it on the side of your truck, before you took it off. Like, what's up? How you doing, Miss Will? You had it on the side of your truck not long ago. You know what I mean? Make America great again. So this is what you want. This is your America. You're making it great again. I want to see what you're gonna do with with what happened today. And who are you going to blame? Who are you going to blame today for the death of Paul Lang? You know what I'm saying? And who are you to talk about? You got construction working on Unit 17. You allowed those people to come in with cameras, and you think that they wasn't going to take pictures of the work that they were doing on a historical building that once housed the people from the 1964 for Freedom Summer in 1964 that held Representative Lewis and all the other people, you know what I mean, of of the civil rights movement, and they got a historical mark out there. You think they're doing? Oh man, I feel like too many of us as black male, Mr. Vickers, too many of us uh, chose to exercise their right to vote, on the wrong side of history. You know what I mean? And so, but when Prop 25 hit and when they start feeling the pressures of Prop 25 and the different things that are going to be going on, I think that they'll realize their mistake. And I always want them to think about this, that, that their Trump hat, their MAGA shirt is not going to hide the fact that they're black. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to hide the fact because if, if by any chance, and I pray it don't, you know what I mean, uh, some type of race war happens and they're around, I think that they're going to forget that, that their skin color, their protest is going to be, hey man, I'm one of the ones that voted for Trump. He's okay, just put this noose around your neck and then we'll deal with it. We thank you for your vote, but just turn around and lay down. You know what I mean? So I don't think that they understand the magnitude of what they're doing. And then I just think about you think about how so many Hispanic voted for their own extradition back to Mexico. You know, so many of them voted for their exodus. They voted to say, okay, I want to go back because that was his whole thing. So okay, I want to do a mass exodus back. So many of them. It's crazy that black women took care of their children. Black women took care of their homes, nursed their kids, and their whole families. Black women caused their husbands to sneak out the back door and have mulatto children, you know, when he couldn't get what he wanted inside his own house. So black women, like Malcolm is, they're the most disrespected persons or people, in this world today. But we as a people, how can to me when a black man, it's not even about the issues. Sometimes, even when it's about the issues, we know that in the government that pretty much the president can't do anything. He or she can't do anything by themselves. So for you to accept the hate and everything from a person who's a convicted felon, the hate that he spewed, the rhetoric that he spewed, and his history of disrespecting women, for you not to come out and support uh, a black woman just because she's black, not just because she's female, but just because she's black. You know what I mean? She's black and female. She had that double negative going for, that it makes our own men because they don't even like the person that they're at home with, be it black or white, that you would not come out. You're mad at her because she was a prosecutor and she was doing her job. Whoever she sent to prison, under her watch, that's her business. Some of the things that she was for, I didn't like, but she can't pass them by herself. She can propose it, but she can't pass them by herself. So you're afraid to even give her the opportunity when you see that the last time that our former president, now current president, when he lost, how he urged people to go and take over the White House, where law enforcement died and everything, and the people still looked over the fact of everything that he spewed, and yeah, a lot of misogynist issues. You know what I mean? And so, and I just think it was just a lack of unity, and we're gonna always have that, man, because there's so many of us. There's so many of us that hate on another person just because they get up in the morning and strive to be successful. Don't ain't got nothing to do with you. Don't have nothing to do with you, but because he's a black man or a black woman that gets up in the morning and wants our own people, man. You'll sit at home, won't make an effort to get to the next level, but you'll complain and grumble about another person who gets up and finds an opportunity to be successful when they look like you. You know what I mean? And so I just think that we have misguided. Uh, 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 I don't know, man. It's even hard to even put into words at this point, man, because it makes you angry just to even think about it. You know what I mean? Yeah, for real. You know what I mean? Yeah, but back to the issue, man. I fight for those people who are still incarcerated, man, because I walked in those shoes a long time, so I understand what it is to be on the inside looking out and making plans to do right. My partner, my brother, man, George, he understands. He can take reentry and take it to a whole nother level because he's did it from the inside. He did it from the inside out. So it's easy for him to do it. So, but when we give it to him, it don't sound right because we done been in the jungle. You know what I mean? Everybody can tell. Everybody can tell how to live, and you can write a book and exact a manual and say what to do in the jungle, but until you go in the jungle and live in the jungle, Man, you don't know what to do in the jungle, man. You know what I mean? Until you done went through the jungle and came out, to do you know how the people in the jungle think? When you can relate to people on all levels, from the street level, to the high level in the exec department. You know what I mean? Man, ain't that crazy? Yeah, yeah, true. You know what I mean? Whether it be another parent, no, whether it's just something. It's just something. They just need some kind of struggle to where he's going to see where they're going to see that he's not for them. So that's all they need is just a taste of their own medicine. But you know, a lot of them in Atlanta did it. A lot of them in Michigan did it. You know what I mean? And so it was easy. She come third. She came third in Michigan, man. You know what I mean? A state that's been blue for centuries. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it was just simply, man, just because they couldn't stand to see history come to fruition. It's like when Harriet went back to when she was trying to tell her husband, man, we can escape to freedom. He's like, no, I don't think that's a good idea. So he didn't go with her. So when she made the freedom, built up enough courage to come back to get her husband had the slave master had allowed him to move another woman into the house. You know what I mean? Because Harriet had escaped. So when she said, okay, that's fine. Get your stuff and come on, we're gonna leave. He said, we're gonna leave, going where? He said, I'm fine. I'm fine where I'm at. You know, master treat me good. He was happy being in slavery than to risk the smaller than to let go of the small amount of courage, or exact the small amount of courage to where he could leave and go and escape to freedom after his wife had left, went to freedom, and came back to get him to take him back to freedom. So her husband chose to stay in bondage. So those people who chose to vote for Trump that look like me, so they chose to stay in bondage to whatever comes with that vote. So whatever comes with that, man, I'm a survivor. You know what I mean? I've been on the street surviving, man, for a long time. For a long time. So I'm a survivor. But for those people who haven't been hit with hard times or been through anything, that chose to stay in bondage, that voted themselves to stay in bondage, then they deserve what they get, Grimes, just like you say. And don't complain. Don't complain. And for the ones who didn't have the courage to get out and say nothing either way, man, you're just as guilty. You know what I mean? Because your vote of you not coming out saying that you're content with what's going on around you today. You know what I mean? And you'll see, probably about January or February, you'll see how everything changed, and then everybody's going to be crying and then hollering, "Oh man, I should have did this and I should have did that." No, you did exactly what you wanted to do. You know what I mean? So go holler, master, we okay? You know what I'm saying? So go do what you're gonna do, and don't complain. Don't complain. Shut up. Shut up and take what you get. Man, I just wanted to vent a little bit. You know what I mean? So that's it. So they're content. Simple as that. They were content with being in bondage. And it's simple as that, man. But man, look, God bless the family of Paul Lane, man. We hope that no more copycat killings come up at Parchman or suicides come up at Parchman within the near days or the near weeks. So I'll keep my ear to the ground, man, and bring you up to speed on what's going on. We'll see how Batman deals with this uh, in the wake of another tragedy on his watch. You know what I mean? I'm gonna see what he's gonna do to Bo and Dunnigan out at the farm shop. Since they rushed in, they could have been at work the whole time. You know what I mean? So I want to see what the EOC report is going to say about why was he out and why did another inmate sign him out to go to the farm shop and he lose his life on this fine good Saturday morning. You know what I mean? So y'all pray for the family, man. You pray for those guys and people that are working out there at MDOC this weekend. Hey, man, you guys take care, man. I love you guys, and it's always a pleasure, man. Any question, man, like and subscribe, man. I got my YouTube channel. You know what I mean? And anything that you have, you can share with me, but I encourage you to send it to the DOJ. that you have is something happening on you around there, in and around. If you see incident anything happening at MDOC, man, send it to DOJ like I do. When you send it to me, I put it in the right hand. What's up, Freddie? What's up, man? Welcome home, brother. It's good to see you, man. Yeah, but like I say, man, keep your head up, stay positive. You know what I mean? You get a chance, man, like the video, share the video, make your comments, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Sell with Sippy, and I'll be posting this to it real soon. And I'll keep you updated on the happenings, man, and the tea time at MDOC. I got to touch on Marshall County, Delta, and CMCL real soon. Real soon. Just waiting on one more thing from CMCL. You know what I mean? Yep. And Miss Hines at CMCL, man, stay from down there at that lockup, CNNO. You know what I mean? Don't get yourself. What's up? I appreciate it, man. Yeah, stay from down there, Miss Hines, and Miss Harrison. Let those people out. When you have visitors coming from New Jersey down to your institution to spread the gospel, you can't lock everybody down and send 12 women to the chapel. The chapel holds about 150, close to 200. You're going to send 12 for people that came from New Jersey to minister to some people at your institution. You know what I mean? This is not probation and parole, Miss Harrison. This is not probation and parole. You know what I mean? This is the Mississippi Department of Correction, and correction starts with rehabilitation and community involvement. It's about rehabilitation. You know what I mean? Not about punishment. They've already been sentenced to their punishment. Your job as the administrator of MCIW is to make sure that those people get the proper education and the proper reentry training. You know what I mean? And reentry training, reentry also deals with their spirituality. So when people come in, to offer them a word of encouragement as how to deal with the daily life of incarceration, then it's your job to facilitate that. I know you're used to only violating people and sending them back to prison. You know what I mean? But your job is to bring as many career fairs, as many job fairs, and as many reentry training programs that you can at that institution. Take a page out of my partner's book, Mr. George King. Take a page out of his book. If you want to learn about reentry, give him a call, and so he can teach you a few things. You know what I mean? So don't hate on when he come over there. He don't want your job. He has no idea, no desire to take your job, man. No desire. If you want to be an administrator of punishment, then go back to probation and parole. You know what I mean? Why did you accept a job at the institution if you want to come in and keep on exacting the same punishment that you did at probation and parole by violating people? So don't violate people's rights while you're there incarceration. Yeah, of course you have a drug problem. You have a drug problem because you know who's part of the problem. You know what I mean? But locking them down is not doing anything. But creating an environment to where they want more drugs because of the stress of incarceration. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're gonna complain. Yeah, you got them air. Yeah, they did that. You know what I mean? They got you air before you got the people at 29. You don't hear the guys at 29 complaining other than about the food and the condition. You know what I'm saying? You got a group of women that's violating policy, walking outside the fence after dark, but you got another 600 or 700 on lockdown in the unit. So what makes those women that you're walking outside of the fence that violates policy in black and white, you know what I mean? In black and white on the perimeter of the fence after dark, what makes them so special that you got to walk them outside the fence and they can get a chance to see the stars and the night air and experience the breath of freedom that you so allowed them, but you can't let the other women out to go to church. That's crazy. That's a double standard. You will violate policy and let women walk outside of the fence after dark. And it's in pictures. It's in black and white. This ain't nothing I'm telling you. It's in black and white. You know what I mean? Your department posted the picture of the women outside of the fence at MCIW walking outside the fence. You know what I'm saying? After dark, which is a violation of MDOC policy when people when inmates are outside an unsecured perimeter, with or without staff. You know what I mean? Was there a transfer cut for each one of them to be outside the fence to walk around? No, I don't think so. No, but you just think that you're a judge, jury, and executioner, and you can do what you want. But that's a horse of another color. Your day coming, man, real soon. Change your ways or change your job, one of the two, and we'll see to it. Thank you, man. Take care. Good hearing from you. Appreciate it. I'll be on your head. I'll be with you real soon.